In a company courtroom where justice is profit, what does innocence mean? As the product becomes the only meaning in life, what becomes of those who are victims of the system? This story is meant to give you pause. Prepare for the deep dive into the world of a corporate-run nation. Calling to the stand, witness number 5367. In the case of persons versus company, kernel versus sustainable replacement, the organ farm. The double doors of the side room of the courthouse creaked open as the plaintiff was wheeled into the room and up to the podium. The obese flaps and rolls of his skin clinging to his suit, bobbing as he was rolled across the floor. The meat hanging off his bones seemed to bob and sway with the movements of the chair. It was slow and steady, matter of fact, as it rolled, as if no matter what, the struggling of breath was no more. As he sat in front of the podium, the monitor clicked on. The auditorium was dead silent, and he began his testimony. The first question: how old was he when he first met Mr. Martin, the now currently sitting CEO of Sustainable Replacement? He answered, slow and deliberate, each word bowling out of his mouth with intent, painting the picture of a child who was neglected. And when someone showed interest, that was all it took to guide him down the path towards incubation. Mr. Martin had lured him into submission and compliance over years of convincing that he was a better guardian for the child, now a teen. He had begun with just snacks, small things to make your day brighter. A donut here, a cake there, always a good sugar rush for a kid. He had thought nothing of it, told no one of it. There was no need. No one paid attention to him besides Mr. Martin. As the years rolled on, so did the fat, plumping him up like some stuffed pig. The pictures of his elementary and high school days clicked across the screen at the front of the room. The large monitors flickering into multiple smaller images as they all bled onto the wall like a living mural. Small, fragile boy. Small hint of a fake smile, an attempt at kempt hair. Pieces never aligning with the whole. The last years had seen him grow sideways. Self-esteem and the hope for the future slowly drained out of him. By the time he graduated, there was nothing left in those eyes. The ties to Mr. Martin and promises of a better life. He took the offer and left his home, moving to Neo Metropolis, the biggest company city on the west coast of the People's Allied States. The biggest growing city in the country. Only to soon realize the biggest mistake was being isolated from the world, a feeling of hopelessness and despair, that only Mr. Martin cared, and only he could fix it. So listen to him. At first, it was minor things. Pushing to eat more dessert, an appetizer here, 3 entrees there. A pimping out the plump, he would muse. The best food, the best treatment, until it stopped. He was then asked, if the conditions of this arrangement were so bad, why would he not just leave? Can you leave the one thing you have known and trusted with all of your memory? No home, no family, just a tool of the corporate world, not a human anymore, a product. Groomed into believing there's nothing else, that helping those who help you is only right, that manipulation and gaslighting are imaginary, that there is only one truth. Who has been supporting you? Who loves you? Who do you care for? No time to think, always pressed into the next stage. Eventually, the hunger for attention hit a climax. He was 656 pounds, relying on Mr. Martin for everything, from feeding to showering to shitting. His life was in the hands of the company. Mr. Martin said he was becoming a burden, that the relationship was falling apart, that he had become a greedy asset, stealing from him, preventing his growth. Unable to fend for himself, he became neglected, moved from the upper limits of the grand towers to the lowest drops of the slums, to the bed of a factory, connected to tubes, told that he did this to himself. It was the only way to recover. No one could take care of him. Only the machine would provide now. For almost a year, he was trapped in that tank, unable to move, being fed through a tube, evacuating through a tube. He thought it could not get worse. He was wrong. That was when the experiment began, a flesh factory of organ production, using the human body as an incubating tool, grooming children from a young age to become organ tanks. Mr. Martin would come and examine the specimens on occasion. His farm was not a beta test. It was one of thousands, fully functional, fully tested, fully debugged. This warehouse laboratory of incubating bodies would be his grave, if not for a miracle. The commission, in a steady voice, called a warning to those present that the images that were about to be shown were graphic, disturbing, and if you have any reservations to keep a solid mind, please turn off your sight monitors. The scarring and wounds across his body, the black, darkened flesh, ripped and torn, bubbled and folded, the tissue carotid and bulbous, as if repeated scar tissue layering across each other over and over, from wounds opened, resealed, opened, and resealed. And the pain of these mishealed wounds evident by their stretched and ruptured nature. When you say incubated, what exactly do you mean? He lowered his head. He took another deep breath to clear his mind as he began. Using stem cells, they would implant a bag inside of a pocket of fat. Using the human body as fuel, it would grow organs inside you. Hearts, kidneys, livers, anything that was needed. Each person chosen for their compatibility, blood type, body structure, and genes. Inspections would come in every week. The only way to keep time in this prison of your own making. Letting yourself fall into this kind of position. A simple mind led to its own doom by those who control everything in this world. That was why he was here. To be the sacrifice to show the masses what was beneath the surface. As he looked around the room at his audience, the feeling hit his stomach. These people were not interested in his story, his life, his pain. They only cared about the product that was placed in front of them. Final question. My escape. As being harvested by them, organs removed from my fat, complementary outlook. A specimen that has outlasted the rest. The distraction was simple. It caused everything. Tube clogged. Emergency procedures attempted. The assumption at this point had been that whatever took place that killed me to cover the accidental disposal of a product, that was why we were here today. The image attached to the monitor connected to my brain stem on the machine. My corpse had been found by a lone alley hopper slum doctor. He was scanning my body to plan my dismemberment and the value of my flesh. When he discovered the strangeness of this corpse, he jacked in my mind. The value of my flesh was insignificant compared to the compensation by the company from uncovering the loss of property, and to oust the traitors of the company to preserve the integrity and productivity of the organ farm. With my testimony in memory, the charges against the defendants concludes. The verdict? Guilty. Sentence? To become incubators. If you enjoyed this technology gone awry story, hit the like button, but not too hard. You don't want to wind up on its bad side. Subscribe if you're new and turn on all those notifications, and if technology allows, we will meet again.